So Andrew, you run the Philadelphia Foundation, which is just a pillar of our community here. I am interested in knowing how you would define the mission of the Philadelphia Foundation.
The mission of the Philadelphia Foundation has been the same for 96 years. It is to build the philanthropic resources of the community, manage them well, and give them away effectively to improve the quality of life for everybody in the community.
So how exactly do you measure your progress when trying to accomplish such an ambitious goal?
Well, obviously, we're actually in three businesses. We're in the fund development, and I say development business as opposed to fundraising because I don't compete with the nonprofits. But we are managing the money because it's not our money. It's legally our money, but it's not our money because a donor has given it to us. And then we're giving it away. And so, you know, in order to measure our progress, we actually look at the fundraising side, not so much in terms of the amount of money that has been brought in, though obviously it's nice, but more importantly, who is leaving an estate plan that will continue their philanthropy long after they're gone. Because part of our business is to build the philanthropic resources for the community to address whatever the issues are going forward. And so that's one measure. Obviously, you know, from a business point of view, if we're managing the money, then it's important that we manage it well. You know, we have three values, trust, hope, and efficiency, and the number one is trust. If a donor doesn't trust that we're going to be good stewards of their money, then they're not going to use us. And so it's important that we use that as a starting point. So we're not going to invest it riskily. We're not going, and we have all the checks and balances in place in order to manage their money correctly. And then on the grant making side, we're, you know, often I say we're both a grant maker, but we're not a grant maker because a lot of the money, and we gave away $25 million last year, a lot of that money is through donor recommendations, donor designation, because we're serving the donor. We're serving members of our community, and we try to make philanthropy accessible to everybody, but we are intent on making sure that the donor is philanthropically satisfied with the grants that are made. So while we do have some discretionary dollars that we have to make a determination on, a lot of the money that we are distributing, if you will, are through the donor's intent.
So you are stewards of the capital and executing on donor intent. So, and from your unique vantage point, you're looking across our Delaware Valley area to invest that capital wisely. So you have a very distinct view on the challenges that face all of the nonprofits in our area with the current economic backdrop affecting all of them.
Yeah, that's very much the case because unlike a private foundation that would focus on the arts, we have to focus on the whole community. And what interestingly enough, we reviewed our discretionary grant making about 5-6 years ago now, and we were a traditional grant maker. We supported programs, and we had a competitive cycle, and so on and so forth. And we determined, even before the financial crisis, though I would love to be able to say that we knew it was coming, therefore we had to plan it, but we decided that what was needed most across the nonprofit sector in the Delaware Valley was the fact that they were very fragile. They were fragile before the crisis. They are even more fragile now. And that is in part because they're doing good, and therefore, as long as the money keeps on coming in, they can continue to do good. But business practices aren't necessarily their background and are not necessarily included in the way they do business, because I'm doing good. So I shouldn't have to worry about doing it well or effectively or efficiently or cost effectively. And so we decided that we needed to raise the bar on building the capacity of these nonprofits to do their job better.
And you have, again, a unique vantage point, having made a migration in your career from the for-profit sector in the hotel business into the nonprofit world. So what do you think the top 3 practices are that nonprofits should institute in order to more effectively carry out their mission?
I think there are 3. I think first and foremost is the financial management, because just like the Philadelphia Foundation, people are entrusting our money to them. Well, when you give to a nonprofit, you are entrusting your charitable dollar to do good in whatever the program is. So financial management is number 1. Number 2 is taking advantage of the opportunity to collaborate with their fellow nonprofits, and that's a challenge because they're always competing for the dollar. But centralized purchasing, shared services, shared locations, cloud computing, all of those things are good business practices that have been practiced in the for-profit sector for a long time, and yet the nonprofit sector doesn't look at them necessarily as being critical to their business. So that's the second one. The third one, I think, is sticking to your mission. Too often, because a donor comes along and is willing to give a lot of money to shift the mission from here to here, guess what? We'll shift it because we need the money. Well, that doesn't work. You need to stick to the mission.
It seems to me that the Philadelphia Foundation has been sticking to its mission for 96 years, and I am very glad that you are. I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.